from WNEP-TV, the news station. This is News Watch 16 at 5.
This former cop is guilty of killing his ex-wife.
Now a jury will decide whether he'll pay for the murder with his own life or spend life in prison. The verdict, our top story on News Watch 16 at 5.
Good evening, I'm Scott Schaefer.
And I'm Paola GIANGIACOMO. A jury in Northumberland County convicted Richard Curran of first-degree murder this afternoon.
He was accused of gunning down his ex-wife almost 3 years ago. News Watch 16's Jim Hamill just back from the courthouse. He joins us now live from our central Pennsylvania newsroom with the story. Jim.
Scott, Paul, it took jurors less than an hour and a half to find Richard Curran guilty of shooting and killing Tina Curran back in 2005. Now that same jury will decide his fate, if he'll get the death penalty or serve life in prison.
Richard Curran is now a convicted murderer. After 3 days of testimony in Sunbury, the Shamokin man was found guilty of the most serious charge, first-degree murder.
It was heinous in many ways. 12 shots is an incredibly violent act. And I felt that first-degree murder was an appropriate verdict for those acts.
Outside the courthouse, Tina Curran's family consoled one another. They tell News Watch 16 they wanted to see this outcome for a long time now.
I'm happy, yeah, that they went this way with it.
The prosecution claimed that Tina Curran was shot and killed back in August of 2005 over a dispute with Richard Curran about child support payments. Witnesses say she was shot a total of 7 times outside Shamokin Area Community Hospital where she worked. Richard Curran was eventually arrested on the Canadian border and charged with her murder.
He lives in a delusional world where everybody lives forever and that the court's trying to cut his head off.
Curran's defense attorney tried to make the case for third-degree murder, but the jury didn't buy it. Richard Curran was a police officer in Berks County, and prosecutors convinced the jury he meant to kill his ex-wife.
I would have liked to see a different verdict, but I think they acted completely appropriately with the evidence presented. Tomorrow they get the rest of the story.
Testimony will continue tomorrow in that penalty phase. Coming up on News Watch 16 at 6, reaction from the victim's family on the verdict.